You see, if we were to look at our own mental state, our own mind, you see, certain time we may think of doing something mentally. We come up with a plan. I want to do this, I want to do that, blah, blah, blah. And you see that we can't do. We can't even do. We can't even materialize what we are thinking to do in our practice, especially. We can't do. So the same thing, if we ourselves sometimes, for example, we make a resolution, we're going to do certain thing, and we can't even do. When we can't even do in our individual level, so what is there to expect from external thing? Oh, cannot. That's why when we do something, we look, even our own mind, that we have all this planning and things keep changing, you see. This thing pop up, that thing pop up, and tasks prevented us from doing those things we want to do. And this is reality, this is life, this is anicca. And things that we don't plan, we got to do. And you see, this is what we call cause and conditions. Right? Sometimes it's not that we plan. We pre-plan, we can plan. A lot of people, they plan, especially those very high level people, especially when before the COVID, they have all this big plan, expansion of the company, or to invest more overseas, blah, blah, and boom, COVID come, finish. All their planning has been squashed. Why? Retrench. Even CEO also get sacked. I got a few devotee CEO, they call me, Ajahn, why like that? I say, it's like that. Why like that? Why like that? Because we put so much hope on external things. We plan so much. And my advice is, it's a blessing in disguise. It's a blessing in disguise for you guys. They said, why? I'm jobless now. I said, come on now. You're still not dead. Because why? All the while, you don't have time to practice what you want to practice. No time for sitting, no time for all this meritorious deed for your own welfare, happiness, for your own mind. And we have this COVID, so blessed, 1.5 years, almost 2 years. You got all the time to do your practice. And at first, they don't agree. But after the COVID, they agreed. Oh, it's true. Wow, I'm very true. 1.5 years, I think it over. Wow, if no COVID, I wouldn't have time to practice. Really no time. I said, of course. We are so engrossed with the expansion of company, so engrossed with the dollar and cent, as though that life is forever, it won't die like that. And this is, we take it that use the uncertainty in life and turn it into advantages. This is a wise person should adapt to think about. We think about the whole thing. Oh, it's a blessing in disguise. Really, if without this thing, then we don't have the opportunity to do the other thing. Of course, it's not material gain, but it's spiritual gain. Spiritual gain in terms that you are able to calm yourself. You can look clearer in life. You won't be so engrossed with those dollar and cent, Everything is calculative. If you start to become, oh, shit, yeah, you see? That's why sometimes it's good. Just as people who don't fall sick, they thought that life is so good, wow, so enjoyable. They can go and enjoy day in, day out. And when COVID, boom. Why? Because the resources have been cut off. No money. Only having money to support the family. But those luxurious enjoyment that a person used to spend a lot on this unnecessary spending, they got to cut. And because of this cut, they feel pressurized. Because why? The attachment to the sensory greed, the craving has been subdued, has been controlled. Because no resources to spend, right? And when they start to think it over, okay, I may as well spend more time on meditations. You see, they find another new approach in their life. Instead of spending all those unnecessary spending, now they start to, don't have to spend more time with yourself. Watch your breath, do meditations, contemplation about life, contemplation of the body. When you have this sickness, contemplation of a body that, you see, after what you have been holding so dear, all this while, looking care of a body, bathing it, feeding it, shitting it, urinating it, changing your clothing, put on all the makeup, and yet what happened? What kind of rewards? It's just a transition. You're just using this body, just using it, that's all. For better actions, what we're going to do in the future. Then we start to treasure more about life. Then what is life? Then we start to think more deeper, to probe into the meaning of what is the real happiness. It's not the material thing outside there. It's not the dollar and cent. Yes, we need all this dollar and cent at the minimum that you can sustain your life so that you don't live so miserable. You have enough food, you got the shade over your head, you have enough clothing, you have medical care, you have some spending, some reserve in case raining day, and that's it. And you start to be more, to live more simply and not to overspend. And this is how people view. A lot of people, those people who wanted to change themselves, they will improve. And they really appreciate that, they improve. And you need someone to pinpoint. Why? If you got no someone to pinpoint the mistake, the weaknesses of a person's character, then they won't know. Because the mind is so attached to the external thing, attached to this material craving, getting things done. And they cannot find the real happiness in themselves because they keep searching externally. But when you come back to the awareness of the feelings of the body, the awareness of your own mind state, the awareness of your body, you start to open up new ground, new perspective in looking at life. Oh, yeah, there's more things that you can look at, focus at, and you don't spend any cent. You feel better. You feel that you're fully human beings. You are fully aware human being. Most of the time, we are not aware of the food we're going to eat, the drink we're going to drink. We just go through the motion of drinking, eating. You don't know what the heck we're eating. We only know that, because I go to this 5-star restaurant, this and that. That's all. You see how this mind has been pulled out by all this external thing. But you see, look at people who live a very simple life. Plain rice, boiled vegetable, simple food. They eat mindfully. They are so happy. They smile every day. You look at those people who are countryside up in the mountain. They don't have all this, what we call it, so-called stress or suffering of the mind. You look at these people, they are so cheerful and they take life so easy, so happily. And you look at their bank account, they don't have bank account. You look at money, very little money, minimum. They spend the money in case they sick, they go see doctor, that's all. They don't have insurance. They don't have any social security. They plant their own food, they eat their own food, and they spend their life. And to people who are so-called modernized in this kind of society, will view them, wow, I got happiness. Life is so hard, blah, blah, blah. But the way they look at us, they say, it's crazy. Spend all the money, then they go to hospital. You see how people look at us? Crazy. Go to buy water, crazy. Go to pay the rent. We all have to pay rent. Stay in the mountain, build their own hut, all this rainwater from the stream, and this. But how many people can do that? And because a lot of people can't do that, that's why we have this system to come in. And people get lost in the system. They get lost and they get crazy. And this is what happens nowadays. So much suffering. We keep building hospital for mind, mental hospital. Not enough because you solve the wrong place. You must solve from the start. The education, how to tell people what is enough. You see, but our system is not this system. Our system is a greedy system. You see, you look at this COVID thing, you can see at this age, almost 60 years on earth, we look through life. This is bullshit. It's good to stay simple. Simple lifestyle, happy lifestyle. Too complicated, headache lifestyle. Okay? That we are sharing. Sometimes we talk about one thought moment in our life. And before we meditate, we say, what is the thought moment? What's so good? What a thought moment? Why must we have to do the thought moment? So important, yes. That's a decision making, the thought moment. That moment is a decision making of life and death. I use the word life and death. You see, people usually when they commit mistake, especially youngsters, sometimes they stare, they go to the pubs or go to shopping center, motorbike gang, and they stare each other, just staring, nothing, just stare. Sometimes that guy wears spec, and the day he never wears spec. So when you see things, he got to, straight his eye, like kind of funny look, and people doesn't know he wearing spectacle. So the other party will thought that, what, this guy making monkey face and finding fault or what? See, problem started with this kind of encounter. And because of this spur of the moment of the thoughts. It trigger what? Anger. Young people got anger. Old people also got anger. They got very angry. And what? Why you look at me? Why? And they start to argue, ended up in fight, ended up with what? Life-threatening fight. Sometimes they may take a knife, machete, and chop each other up. And in the end, when they get caught, they regret. And you look at the interview, why you do that? They say, oh, I'm very angry because he scolded me. He say, why you make a monkey face at me? And all. You see, because of the speech that trigger that thoughts, the spur of the moment, pop, they committed their mistake. And it's very regretful. Because why? The individual got to be imprisoned and punished by the law. And likewise, if you apply the same thing to our eye contact, our ear contact, nose contact, our mouth speech, bodily contact. And sometimes you may also realize certain people you are not agreeable with her or he. Just hearing the mention of the name of the individual trigger the anger in you, trigger the uneasy feeling in you. And you feel that, hey, why? Just a name only, why? But yes, because our mind is not trained. Our mind still hold on to the hatred of the past. Because all these are memory, we hold on to the memory of the past, the hatred of the past, the content of the past, the feeling of our past. And that's why we got so angry every time we mention this thing. How are we going to deal with this problem? It has to be dealt with. It got to be dealt with because it concerns our spiritual goal, mindfulness. Every time we know that this thing triggered out, straight away we notify, we acknowledge, okay. Even though you might have at first it's no control, the anger just come out. This is normal people. They just they come out and they got so worked up. Now, as we start to practice mindfulness, we start to address the problem within ourselves. Because why? Because this kind of unwholesome thought has been causing us grave grief, pain in our heart. And we start to address it. Every time the thought or someone mentioned about certain thing, pop, this thought or this kind of emotion arises, we acknowledge, we take a note, look at it. And it's just a thought. There's no story making carry on. But if you're not mindful, you see the whole contingent of the trend of thoughts just follow. And it's a repetition of thoughts. And you'll be easily dragged into the emotion straight away. So it's very, very important when we have mindfulness. When this memory arising, we just arrest it. Acknowledge, okay. We just make a mental note, it's the past. No point. What is done cannot be undone. It's a memory, it's impermanent. And then we just do acknowledge. Don't have to say let go. Just look at it and life move. And as we keep doing it, then we find that it become more and more easier to deal with. And this thought, in no time, it doesn't have any impact. It doesn't have an impact in us because why? We have mindfulness. We are aware. We are not like last time being easily tricked or being sucked in by the content of the thoughts. So this is very important in the practice, in our daily practice. So that when we encounter with certain people, because we are human beings, in this society we're living in, there's a lot of people, majority are wrong view. They have wrong view in the whole thing in their life. They are very selfish, self-centered, they don't give a damn, They're very selfish. Sometimes they see you coming, they don't care. They know that they should do this thing, but they don't do the purposely left it undone, so that you got to do it again. And it's a duty, and you find that, why? And then, okay, if person who are practicing, they say that, oh, never mind, it's okay. Just do more job, you won't die. Your finger won't get lost. You see, you know how to find a reason to cushion off your extra job. And no problem. You don't have to say that, this is your duty to be complied of and you need to comply. We don't have to. You say, it's okay, we do it. No problem. So this is how we cultivate kindness in ourselves. Because the minute you woke up, you get woke up, you got angry, who suffered now? You are the first one to suffer. Second thing, you harbor the dissatisfaction towards the other party. When you have this kind of thought, the next thing is how to hit back. And when you want to hit back, this is how this fire will keep burning. It never stops. And for the other party, when you hit back at you, they'll be more aggressive because the other person who don't practice. But for us, we want to put a stop. Yes, the other party might say that, he's stupid, let him do it, you don't care. Then they will keep taking advantage. But never mind, because why? We are there for the test. I use the word. Because it's a test of our patience, it gives you a platform to practice what we call khanti, patience, forbearance. How far can you take it? How much can you take it? And no problem, you don't worry. Because when someone try to make you angry, try to agitate you, and you are immovable, unaffected, so what will happen? The other party will get worked up. Just like some other people, they try to make life difficult for us so that we will tender our resignations and just walk out. But if we just stay put and smile, let me tell you, the other party will resign themselves. They go crazy. They go crazy not because of us. They go crazy. They get tortured by their own unwholesome thought. Because when a person thinks unwholesomely, all this unwholesome thought always occupy their mind. They're always thinking people try to do bad to them, unkind to them, blah, blah, blah. Even though they're in the wrong, they always think that they're in the right. But if you're practicing it, no, this person got a wrong view. We shouldn't take grudges with him, but we should forgive him and we practice patience and forbearance. This is the highest austerity. This is the highest that the Buddha always encouraged us as a Buddhist to practice, because the accumulation of our merits for the practice. Then, the more you do it, hurdles after hurdles, problem after problem, we are not moved. But what we gain is what? Patience, forbearance. What we gain is the perfection of our personality within ourselves. And everywhere we go, we only, no problem. People got a lot of problem, but we come to us, small problem. But to some people who never handled grave issue, it's a big problem. So remember that the spur moment of thoughts is so important in the practice for we all Buddhists, right? And that will be the sharing for today. Okay, I want to relate my experience. Yesterday, for all this while, I got very bad allergy since last year, my arrival to Melbourne, and all this year, my whole body keep aching. I just look at it and, you want to be born, right? That's the problem. This aching, right? And when the thing get worse, until yesterday, it gets so worse that even bowing down, the mucus just like water dripping all over the place from the nose. And I thought, okay, I got to do something about it. And I remember this Lisa has offered 2 bottles of eye drop, especially for allergy. So I went back after the chanting. I put one drop into each drop to each eye. And guess what? Clear immediately. Wow, the sound relief, so happy. Wow, finally, I got a very clear passage of my breath. My mucus stop, my itchy nose stop, my itchy throat stop, everything. I said, good. Life is normal again. Tomorrow I can full blast do chanting again. And guess what happened next? I began to feel a pressure building up at the back of my head. Tug. So I keep observing it. I observe, I don't do anything, I just observe the reactions of this medicine. I say, so fast. But from the head, it spread down to the shoulder blade. It started to get stiffened. From the shoulder blade, all the way down to my forearm, stiff. All the way down to my back, to my thigh, all the way down to the leg. The whole, like the change of wire like that. The whole current just stopped. Stiff. I say, hey, what happened? I want to move my hand, it's so painful. I say, oh shit, I solve one problem, I create another problem. Then I say, the nature of the body is like that, right? When you have foreign body, they want to come to the body, the nature of the resistor will fight, not to let the disease to come in, and thus cause this fluid to wash away this thing. And that's the nature. But because it causes us inconvenience in our daily life. We cannot go to work because of running nose. If you're serving food, and how can you cook the food with your running nose? People will be scared. So we take medicine. And the medicine is supposed to be good, but it causes another side effect on the body. And I said, it falls under the category what the Buddha say. Birth is suffering. To have this body is suffering. Because why? Because we got to cater for the need of the body all the time. It's so sickening. I look at the whole body. Shit, this body really. Why? Why this body is so suffering? And then when we pull back a bit, never mind. Let the body suffer, but the mind don't suffer enough. Because why? Who wants you to be born? No one hired you to be born, right? Oh yeah, true. So where is there to complain? Oh yeah, okay, never mind, my karma. Because why? Other people who got good resistance, who got good karma, they're healthy. They don't have the problem that we have. But how come I got this problem? They conclude, yes, it's very true. We got to believe in karma. We got to believe in what we're experiencing now is the result of our own doing in the past. And because who asked to be born? We are born. So we got to accept the fact that, okay, we try to make good and we try to do the best. And this body won't be with us for 100 years. It's just a body and that's it. Think it over, lucky I'm 50, over 60 already. So we got going to suffer not too long. Not too long. It's okay. Take it. Do more goodness. Help more people. And that's it. We are going. And then you have a sign of relief straight away. Okay, yeah, I'm leaving. Lucky, we know the truth, and it's your mind feels so relaxed, feels so glad about this is the nature, anicca, dukkha, anatta, which is true because we don't have to read externally, we don't have to study outside. You don't have to. Our own body, the happening within our own body is a real hands-on, 24-hour, 24/7. Object of focus, object of study, object of getting know to our own body. And you come to a realization, you come to an understanding of, what to do. It's not that we're not looking after the body. We look after the body and it creates the adverse reactions, which we try to stop the fluid. Yes, the fluid is stopped and we're so glad. We are so at ease. And another thing comes up. Stiff. And when Jason came in to take the water bottle, I was doing my stretching. Normally, after 50 stretch, the vein can go down. 100 stretch, still cannot go down. Oh shit, why come the body is like that? As I was stretching, I also contemplating. See, want to be born now? 100 stretch, lucky you can stretch, can relieve the pain. If people who cannot do the stretch, where were they referred to? Hospital, like what we see all the hospital people. People who don't understand nature, who don't understand what is called the nature of the body. Definitely they will refer to the hospital, to the doctor to ask for help. But because we are Buddhist monk, because we are meditator, what we call meditate, bhavana, we're developing our mind, developing all the knowledge. We are finding what's wrong, why, digging in. And then we look, okay, hey, you have this thing solved, that thing pop up. That thing solved, this thing pop up. It's just round, merry-go-round. That's why this world of samsara is a merry-go-round, round and round and round. That's why the Buddha said, birth is suffering, aging, sickness is suffering, death is suffering. But the death is the end of suffering for the body, but the mind, if you are not liberated from unknowingness, is still fueled by greed, hatred, delusions, by ignorance, then we will suffer all the time. Because why? We don't know how to let go internally. Externally, yes, but internally we can't. So that is the practice all about. That's the beauty of the practice in Buddhism, that the body, we can't control it. We got to leave it to the nature. Have a full understanding on this external thing. That whatever thing we do external is external. We can control at a certain level, but still the whole thing will be merry-go-round. But internally, the wisdom that arises in the practice within ourselves, we can put a stop to this suffering in our mind. And this is very, very beneficial for mankind. Because why? So that we won't be falling under the circumstances that create all this kind of pain in our mind. So remember, When the Buddha talk about Sila, Samadhi, Panya, it always has a cause. Why the Buddha wants you to develop goodness? Why the Buddha wants you to develop calmness of the mind? And from the calmness of the mind, you go, penetrate deeper, contemplate into the natures of anicca, impermanencies of everything, whether your mind state, whether things that you see, sounds that you hear, nose contact, mouth contact, tongue contact, bodily contact, feeling contact, and all this emotioning arising from all this contact, and how our mind make believe. We have a thoroughly study of all this for called khandas and the ayatana sensory. Then we come to a realization, come to understanding. Oh yeah, they are really like that. There's nothing you can hold on to. What you can hold to is the truth, this universal truth of anicca, dukkha, anatta. And this is nothing that you know it, you leave it there, that's it. And okay, there's something, we call it this mindfulness, this pure awareness that no. And you can see when your mind contemplate more and more into the true nature of this nature, this thing, the more your mind become lighter, 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 lighter. And we don't have to talk about letting go. You know yourself within ourselves, within our own mind. How much have we penetrated into our own practices? And that'll be the sharing for today. Sometimes we cannot estimate small things. We don't overlook small things. Don't underestimate the merits of certain individuals. You cannot underestimate. Some people, they like to look down on people, like, run down on certain individual. We mustn't do that. We mustn't have that kind of mentality. We must always give people a chance, give people an opportunity that people will change. Why I say that? Because in the Buddha's time, the Buddha said, never look down on small snake. Because a small snake is very, very poisonous. It can kill a big man. Never look down on one small matches, an ember of the fire. It can burn down the whole city. And never look down on beggar, because the opportunity and time that come, the beggar can become a very rich person. Who knows? And we can see in this present lifetime now that there's this singer, I don't know what his name. This singer, he play guitar and sometimes got food, sometimes no food, sometimes go without food. But he keep going, play free songs for people. And now he's a multi-millionaire now because why? The opportunity struck. He was given the opportunity, the platform to perform. And he struck the bullseye. He got his opportunity. And now he's a millionaire, in the musical, arena now. And lastly, the Buddha said, don't look down on junior monk, because all these senior monk, famous monk, very good monk come from junior monk, come from samanera, unknown. They are not trained. So people can change, people slowly, change for the better. Because why? Because they have the good intentions to train themselves, to uplift themselves, to upgrade themselves, to push themselves forward. And this is what we call the opportunity. And it's inside the Buddha's teaching. Like during the Buddha's time, same thing. There was this flower collector and the daughter went to collect flower. The flower was meant for the king. And if you know that last time, if thing is never delivered in time, you can be beheaded. The law's enforcement is so harsh. But nevertheless, this lady, she gave the flower to the Buddha. She offered to the Buddha because she was so inspired, have so much faith and so much affection for the Buddha. She doesn't care even for her life. And after giving, if she die, it's okay. Because of the faith, the Buddha said, this lady will become a queen. And she became a queen afternoon. Because when the king find out that she gave the flower to the Buddha, the king was very pleased, very happy. That she can sacrifice her life for something she longed for, and to the Lord Buddha. And luckily, this king also was a Buddha's follower. And she became a queen. Morning time is still a servant picking up flowers for the royal family. And afternoon become a queen. You see, things change. Things happen just snap moment. So never underestimate every little thing we do in our life that is We call it skillful, that is kind, that's full of sacrifice. Never underestimate all this small thing because it pays. When I say it pays, it pays both spiritually and externally. All this gift people is enjoying now, the same thing. So when the opportunity just strike and the condition just ripen and things just turn over like that. So don't give up. Don't be disheartened in your life or whatever thing we do. Always have good faith. Have the good faith and the good intentions. And you must always believe in karma. That's never mind. That's not the end of our life. We got to strive on, and that will be the sharing for today. Yatha varivaha pura paripurenti sakarang eva beva nito tina petana upakapatit ichita badita tumha kipameva samichatu sape purentu sankapa Kanto panaraso yatha manicho diraso yatha Tiyo vivajantu samaro govina saduma devava vandarayo sukhi dikayo gobhava viva Tanasile sanicang buddha Vajayino cakaro dhamma Kanti ayuhano sukhang Alaya samipade se kapete vasa parita jatiyo Sila vadeta mochetawa sanyate brahmacharino Yadata devata sunta sadakina madese Tapuchita pujayanti marita manayatina Tatonang anukampanti mata puta vaurasang Dewata nukampito poso satabarani pasati Bhavatu sabhamanggalang rakadu sabadewata Sabba Buddha Nubhavena Sada Soti Bhavantu Te Bhavatu Sabba Mangala Rakadu Sabba Devata Sabba Dhamma Nubhavena Sada Soti Bhavantu Te Bhavatu Sabba Mangala Rakadu Sabba Devata Sabba Sangha Nubhavena Sada Soti